The Outer Banks of North Carolina is a chain of barrier islands located off the eastern shore of the state. Most famous for the Kitty Hawk Dunes, where the Wright brothers first achieved powered flight, the banks have a long, rich history. The pirate Edward Blackbeard Teach sailed out of Ocracoke Island, while the treacherous waters offshore have claimed dozens of ships over the centuries. In World War II, German submarines sank merchant vessels there. Divers recovered an Enigma decoder machine from one such German submarine in 1981. Merchant hunters once used massive shotgun-like weapons to down hundreds of duck and geese in a single outing on the 30-mile-wide Pamlico Sound. For hundreds of years, the banks were remote and hard to get to. This quality, along with the wind and sand, was part of the appeal to the Wrights. The 1960s saw the beginning of a period of rapid growth and discovery by the outside world. Bridges and causeways replaced some of the ferries. World record marlin were caught by Hatteras Island charter captains, and the rapid growth of such southeastern cities as Atlanta, Raleigh-Durham, Charlotte, and the Washington, D.C. area helped drive a rapid increase in tourism. Finally, the rise in such adventure sports as surfing, windsurfing, and kiteboarding coincided with the area's unique combination of wind and waves to draw international attention to the area. For all the snowboarder-like attitude, however, fishing, on the Sound and in the skiff, in the Gulf Stream from a 50-foot battle wagon or off the beach, was and remains a massive draw to the area. Despite the modernization, the islands remain prone to hurricane damage. The fragile barrier islands are continually shifting, and extreme storms can breach the thin islands. While the sunshine and miles of white sand beaches, many of them protected from development as part of a national seashore, exert their pull toward escape and relaxation, locals keep a close eye on the weather. Evacuation routes are clearly marked and frequently used. After one hurricane, renters were given flyers asking them to be patient with storekeepers and restaurant waitstaff insofar as some of them had just lost their homes. The Outer Banks is clearly a unique locale, a barrier island ecosystem with a rich history. Inspired by the Foxfire experiment on oral history begun by a Georgia English teacher in the 1960s, the local high school interviewed longtime residents for an excellent series of recollections. As recently as the 1990s, weather information was displayed in block letters, much like the old IBM text-based PCs on local cable television. Wireline telephone coverage was spotty. Some calling cards worked better than others. The New York Times, Sunday or otherwise, was impossible to obtain. Renting a house involved a mimeographed list of options and a toll-free telephone call to a property management firm. Being removed from the rat race was part of the bank's appeal. The rapid growth of the Sun Belt, combined with the real estate bubble of 1995 to 2008, encouraged building and more building. Houses grew bigger. Pools became the norm, even for oceanfront houses. Real estate firms multiplied and moved from mimeograph to black and white offset printing to thick, slick, full-color catalogs. The Washington Post and Sunday New York Times infiltrated the islands, as did upscale restaurants. Cell phone service improved. High-speed internet access became a routine feature of the rental properties. As of 2011, the Outer Banks feels less isolated than ever before. Some property managers have dispensed with paper catalogs altogether, moving instead to online guides that feature Google Earth aerial imagery, video walkthroughs of the properties, and extensive photo galleries. The New York Times, the BBC, and Al Jazeera are all equally and easily available. Weather channels and resources have proliferated. Cell phone coverage can extend up to 20 miles offshore. It's great for the fishing guides, but just as useful for making the BlackBerry work. Wi-Fi in many rental houses makes tuning out an act of will rather than a default state of affairs. Anonymity becomes less common. A colleague of ours was on the same island as we were on a recent visit, a fact we discovered through Facebook.